Hello, this is Kelly from LatchLux, and I'm here to introduce our LED bezel, which is considered LatchLux. And I'm going to show you a few of the parts we need: wire loom, zip ties, butt connectors, Phillips screwdriver, wire crimpers, wire strippers, and of course, LatchLux. And if you're over 40, you're going to need a knee pad. So let's get started. So when I come up to my latch, the first thing you need to do is find out if you have 12-volt power. And in this case, my 12-volt power is going to be my luggage light, which I've already connected two butt connectors to my positive and negative, and that's how I'm going to get my power. When you receive your LatchLux, you're going to get a bezel with a 6-foot wire and a gasket on it. And as we go through this install video, you're going to see you have a gasket on your latch, and we have one on our bezel. So let's get started. Of course, I had a bezel on here, and the first thing we need to do is take the slam plate off, or the backing plate, or however you want to call it. So you're going to take these 4 screws out. And then once you get to the last one, you want to make sure you have the latch in your hand so it doesn't fall out. So you're going to take this back plate off, and when you take the back plate off, you're going to have the plunger. You want to take that off. Every lock's a little different. So you take that off and your lock comes out of your hole. As I was telling you before, there's a gasket already on the latch. This particular case, my back plate is aluminum. I've seen them steel, all kinds of stuff. I put a 1/4-inch hole in there. This one, with being aluminum, I punched it in. The steel ones you're going to have to drill into and put a rubber grommet on there so you don't chafe your wire. So let's go with the bezel. So your first thing you want to do is run your wire through the hole. Once I run the wire through the hole, then you get your latch. Your latch will go onto your bezel, like so. Back here is very flush, and it mounts right directly to your box. So I'm going to stick it in like this. You're going to sort of center it up, make sure it's nice and flush, gaskets, all that stuff. And then on the opposite side here, you want to make sure your wires are not being hit by anything mechanical in there that would cut them. You put the wire through the plate. I feed it up a little at a time. 2 people would be just as easy. And then one thing is, don't forget to attach your plunger, because if you slam the door and you don't have that attached, it's always fun trying to open that door from underneath your RV or however you're going to have to get to it. So anyways, you want to get it up there nice and tight to a point where everything's safe. So I want to run it up a little bit more. Make sure I can see my screw holes in there. Once I see those, I'm going to turn around and start attaching the back plate. So I attach the back plate here. I got the first one in. Get the second screw in there. Make sure my wire's doing good. Put that one in there, put that one in there. Put these 2 in here. This one. And this one. Alright, so we got the screws in there. We want to make sure our bezel's straight. Tighten these down. As I always say, you can't tighten this back plate up too much because you bind your plunger in your lock. So I fasten it down snug, and then I'll fine tune it once I get it down snug. Okay, it's snug. Make sure your plunger's working. Straighten your bezel. And then I give it a little more of a tighten down. make sure everything is good. Lock's working. Now here comes where you sort of want to get a little fancier, is where you use the wire loom. You actually can take this and just run it through there with the bare wire, or me, I put the wire loom on it. As soon as that goes through there, I stick it into my fitting of my wire loom. I connect the first one, connect the second one, and then here's another important item you have to remember, is when your door shuts, I've actually finished my last clip where the gasket stops, because you don't want to pinch it in the gasket. So then when I come around, I bring it around and I got another wire latch clip in here, and I want to keep that loop there to keep it from being pinched. So when I do that, I put the clip, I know that's safe right there. Then I'm going to take a zip tie once I put my ends on, but now you're going to get two ends to connect into your 12-volt power. Use your wire strippers here. Get your wire right. And the power that it takes in these LED bezels are very, very low. Very, very low. I mean, uses hardly any power whatsoever, but it really gives off a great lighting. Put that on there. Let's see if I can crimp this on the first shot instead of the sixth shot. Oop, I feel it jerking around in there a little bit. I just want to make sure it's nice and taut. First one on. Put the second one on. See how this crimping goes here. Did I do it? Oh yeah, I got it right. Make sure your plates are right, so it sits in there good. Now I want to find my positive and my negative, which is in here, so stick that on and stick that one in there. Make sure I have no wires showing. Make sure my terminals are in there. Take me a zip tie, zip my wire up here, make it look nice. You don't want no wires hanging down your box, because you have all your little components in here. You don't want it to get in the way. So that's why I zip tie these all up nice and tight. Then I'm going to go inside and hit my power and see what happens. So I've attached this to my luggage switch in my RV, and now, voila, your latch is lit. For any other questions, you can contact us at www.latchlux.com, kelly@latchlux.com, or of course, social media. We're on all the social media, and I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.